So hello dear students, welcome to Bajirao IAS Academy interview guidance program. So today we will be discussing about earlier lecture we have discussed or talked about the basic structure doctrine, and in this lecture we will discuss about the 75th anniversary of the Supreme Court. Now it is 75 years since Supreme Court has been established. So recently Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had inaugurated the Diamond Jubilee celebration of the Supreme Court. Okay, so since it has become 75 years, so therefore Indian Supreme Court has been celebrating the Diamond Jubilee celebration, and Prime Minister of India has inaugurated this Diamond Jubilee celebration. So if you look at the Supreme Court, it is an apex judicial body of the Indian Constitution. So it is one of the highest and most powerful judiciary in the world. So it is very often equated with the judiciary of the US. So therefore Indian Constitution has provided for a most powerful judiciary, and Supreme Court is at the apex or at the top of this judicial architecture. So here is one important fact, that is Indian Constitution Article 124. So Article 124 of the Indian Constitution states that there shall be a Supreme Court of India. Okay, so what does Article 124 says? So it says there's a Supreme Court of India. Okay, so this is what Indian Constitution Article 124 says. So establishment, so it came into existence on 26 January 1950, so with coming into force of the India's Constitution. Okay, so this was established, please remember this was established in the year 1950 January 26th. So this is the date when Indian Constitution came into force. Now when we talk about the inauguration of the Supreme Court, so 28 January 1950 was the date of inauguration of the Supreme Court. So this date is actually 2 days after India became a sovereign democratic republic. So this ideals you can see in the preamble of the Indian's Constitution. So after that, when we talk about the location of the Supreme Court, so it was initially functioned from the old Parliament building. Okay, so it was initially functioned in the old Parliament building, where the Federal Court of India sat for 12 years. Okay, from 1937 to 1950. Okay, so it has sat for 12 years. So it moved to the present building in New Delhi in 1958. So in this particular building, there's a life-size figure of Mahatma Gandhi and 7-foot tall statue of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar that we can see in this new building. So if we talk about the strength of the Supreme Court is currently at its full strength. So 34 judges currently, that includes the Chief Justice of India. Now if you look at the current strength of the Supreme Court, so there were also women judges, and there's also few judges from the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes and other backward classes. Here is one important fact about the Supreme Court, that is Hiralal J. Kania is actually the first Chief Justice of India's Supreme Court. Okay, so please remember this, and this may be important for your exam. And after that, on the eve of the 75th anniversary, on Golden Jubilee celebrations of the Supreme Court, 3 important initiatives were actually launched. So what are those important initiatives? The first important initiative is Digital Supreme Court Reports. So this is also known as DGSCR. Okay, so Digital Supreme Court Reports. So it has 36,308 cases of Supreme Court since 1950, and these all reports are actually accessible to the public in digital format. Okay, so these reports are actually accessible to the public in digital format. So after that, we need to talk about the digital courts as well. Okay, so digital courts, it enables access to court records to the judges of the district courts in digital form. So it is actually digitization of the judiciary. Now digitization will actually brings more transparency, accountability and efficiency in delivery of justice, as well as it will reduce the pendency of cases, and it will address the issue of vacancy in the judiciary. the issue of vacancy in the judiciary. So it is actually coupled with the use of artificial intelligence for transcribing speech to text on real-time basis. So this will also help in translation and making justice accessible to a large chunk of the India's population, so thereby increasing the trust and confidence on the India's judiciary. So after that, a new website for the Supreme Court will also be created. So it will be in the bilingual format and it will have both English and Hindi, right? So this will have both English and Hindi, and it is in the bilingual format, and it has been redesigned with the user-friendly interface. Okay, so this will have a user-friendly interface and this will be in the bilingual format. So as part of the 75th year of 75th anniversary of the Supreme Court, so there were number of measures which were actually taken by India for improving the India's judicial system. So what are those measures? Over 7,000 crore has been disbursed since 2014 for bettering physical infrastructure. Okay, so so it has been declared that over 7,000 crore has been disbursed since 2014 for bettering the physical infrastructure. So after that, a fund of 800 crore had been approved for the expansion of the Supreme Court building and other facilities. So in this context, in order to make justice accessible and more efficient, it is very important that we need to develop infrastructure. Okay, so in this context, expansion of the Supreme Court building and other facilities, around 800 crore had been allocated. So there were also initiatives to translate Supreme Court judgments into the regional languages. So this is where the barriers with respect to language can be bridged when the Supreme Court judgments are actually translated into the regional languages, and this is where the people will start developing a rapport with the judiciary. And recently there was an initiative to live stream the proceedings of the Supreme Court and various high courts, and that is also a very good initiative. And after that, it has abolished the outdated colonial criminal laws as well, because introduced a new legislation such as Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita and Bharatiya Nyay Samhita and Bharatiya Saksha Abhinayam. Okay, so these were the laws which were recently introduced, and these laws were aimed at modernizing the existing modernizing the old outdated criminal laws. Either they will be abolished or introducing new legislations. Okay, so these new legislations are Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita, Bharatiya Nyay Samhita, Bharatiya Saksha Abhinayam. Okay, and after that, it has enacted the Jan Vishwas bill as well. The parliament has enacted Jan Vishwas bill as well. So this bill will help reducing the number of pending cases. In judiciary, around 4 crore cases are pending across various courts. So therefore, the pendency of the cases across various courts is a major problem. So Jan Vishwas bill will be launched. It has enacted Jan Vishwas bill, and it will help in reducing the number of pendency cases, thereby alleviating pressure on the judiciary. So overall, this is about the 75th anniversary and various initiatives launched as part of this and measures taken to improve the judicial system in India. So this is a very important for your interview, if you're preparing for interview, as well as your prelims examination purposes. Okay, because this contains a lot of data, and that data will definitely helpful for you in your exam. Thank you.